What is happening, YouTube? So, recent news about the James Harden to the Clippers rumor. Yes, I know it's been brewing since like 3 months, and supposedly I heard the trade talks between the James Harden to the Clippers kind of had ended just for now. So, um, so that kind of like it might be like some disappointment to some Clippers fans and the other side of Clippers fans who don't want James Harden. I guess it's good news for them. Um, me, when I first heard of the James Harden to the Clippers rumor, I was strictly like just in the middle. Um, like I said in the past like 10, 15 videos, I like Harden as a player, and I wouldn't mind getting him if it's like if it's for like like a team friendly price. Um, but if it is gonna cost like a potential like like if it like let what's the proper term could I say, like if it would detriment the Clippers future, let's just say if it's like a unprotected first round picks or pick swaps, I wouldn't be for it. Like I said, the max I would give is Norman Powell, Marcus Morris, and like a semi-protected first-round pick. Like I'd say, like the max I'd give like a top 8 protected first-round pick. So that could give the flexibility for the Clippers to kind of like, tank if they are really terrible. But any more than that, I would not want to give it up. Obviously, I'm not a fan of giving up Terrence Mann, Bones Island, or Brandon Boston Jr. Um, but that was my reaction, and I was always in that mold that the Clippers, as of right now, are good enough to win it all, but it's up for our head coach to execute. And Harden, like he would help us in a lot of things, and sometimes he would give us what we need, but he's not exactly 100% that we need. It's like if that someone makes sense in a way, because the Clippers just need to have like an athletic four to kind of like like be that glue guy, because Marcus Morris, he's definitely not it on defense. He would get targeted all the time, and yeah, I'm getting James Harden. Um, Obviously, it would kind of be like a combo guard lineup, and Kawhi would have to play a power forward, but you get like a extra firepower boost with James Harden, and the huge swing that would also like would kind of welcome me to go after James Harden is that dynamic duo of James Harden and Russell Westbrook, and they did have like I believe they did have like the highest scoring duo, even like higher than Kobe and Shaq, and that would definitely be pretty helpful for the Los Angeles Clippers. But now, since the trade talks at this moment ended right now, I'm definitely not mad whatsoever. Um, Looks like we might have to ride with Marcus Morris with the team again, but we'll see how Ty Lue um, reacts as a head coach again. Let's see if he can redeem himself, or is he still going to be another terrible coach like how he was um, last year. Um, but anyways, another like potential rumor is Malcolm Brogdon. Now, Malcolm Brogdon, he almost was so close to getting traded to the Clippers um, back in June, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I made a video about it, and I was briefly disappointed. I was actually like angry, and then when I heard the trade got canceled, I was happy, and but I was happy just for um, let's see, honestly, Not even for just 24 hours. I was happy for 24 hours, and then the Clippers, pissed me off again with their draft decisions because the Clippers, they don't need another guard. I know I'm contradicting myself of saying like, oh, like I'm welcome to get James Harden, but Malcolm Brogdon is kind of like my stance on getting James Harden. He's a solid player. He could give us extra firepower, but we already do have a lot of guards, and people want to get on how James Harden's not good in the playoffs. Um, Malcolm Brogdon, his playoff performance wasn't the best either. Against the Miami Heat, he only had one good game, and it was game one. And the reason why, like, um, I was initially happy that the Malcolm Brogdon trade didn't go through because I was praying for my guy G.G. Jackson to become a Los Angeles Clipper because there are many people in the second round that I would take. Well, I wouldn't say many, but there are people who I take over Malcolm Brogdon. I would take G.G. Jackson over Malcolm Brogdon easily. I would take Leonard Miller over Malcolm Brogdon. Two players I would take over Malcolm Brogdon. And even though Kobe Brown, was not my guy whatsoever on my initial draft night reaction, I literally lost my head that day. Um, I would low key rather have him over Malcolm Brogdon because Kobe Brown, he's decent. He could get rebounds, he can play defense, and once again, even though I wasn't a Kobe Brown guy at the first, I would definitely wouldn't mind giving him some solid minutes and have him play 20 minutes and all that. But kind of like James Harden. If we could get Malcolm Brogdon at a team-friendly price, and then the maximum asset I would get from Malcolm Brogdon, um, I would give Marcus Morris, Amir Coffey. I wouldn't hate giving them Jason Preston, and probably maybe 2 second-round picks, or like a really heavily protected first-round pick. I'm talking about top 15 protected first round pick, or honestly, maybe even top 20, but like a future heavily protected first round pick. Because Brogdon, he is younger than Harden, but the thing is, he is injury prone. He is solid though. He could give us, I guess that extra firepower, I guess. But how is he gonna fit with the Los Angeles Clippers? Um, because it is a bit different because obviously Malcolm Brogdon trade value is nowhere near as good as James Harden. So I guess if you want a cheaper option, I guess that could be an okay option as well too. But there is one thing you have to do if the Clippers decide to go through with the Malcolm Brogdon trade, assumingly they don't get too reckless. You got to find a trade for Norman Powell because how are you going to fit Malcolm Brogdon with so many guards? At least the Norman Powell trade, the James Harden trade, you would at least definitely give up Norman Powell because Norman Powell, it would definitely outbalance the cap space and all that and the return that Philly gets. But I guess if the Clippers do go after Malcolm Brogdon, I guess in a way Clippers could, if the Clippers play their cards right, I guess it would work perfectly well for the Clippers. Um, so I guess the idea of Malcolm Brogdon going to the Clippers alone, like I said, I'm neutral about it. Personally, I prefer an athletic power forward, or just play the right rotations. But if the Clippers were to go for a trade, I would prefer to get an athletic four. If we could find a cheaper way. But like I said, if the Clippers do get Malcolm Brogdon, you got to find a team that would love to have Norman Powell. And even so, I would still want to trade Norman Powell because Norman Powell, he's a good player. But, sometimes you got to learn how to trade a player when the trade value is extremely high. Norman Powell fits the perfect criteria. Personally, I would have used him as a trade asset for draft night, but there's always every other opportunity, and it's not a popular opinion because Norman Powell, he did really good, and I respect that point of view because when a person does good, it's pretty hard to trade them, and I'm not mad if you disagree with that with with what I'm saying, but um, you know, if you, I think Norman Powell, you could easily get like a future first round pick for sure. Maybe even like a future first round pick and maybe some seconds. Um, like you could either like find a mediocre team that wants to kind of like make an extra juice to get some extra juice to kind of like make a little playoff run, like a mediocre team, and then the Clippers could potentially get like a decent draft pick, like maybe in the late teens, or the Clippers could kind of like make like flip Norman Powell, and then maybe get like a first round pick like in the future, like 2028, 2026, and maybe like a lightly protected first round pick. That could work as well too. Who knows? That could pay the Clippers off in the long term because in my opinion, the Clippers do need some first round picks, man, to kind of like get some insurance. It's like I don't know what type of analogy I could think of right now, but if I gotta like describe a perfect analogy, it's kind of like insurance. You know what I'm saying? Like first round picks, in my opinion, there are like insurance. Like because the Clippers, their future, it's a little bit kind of like it's a bit interesting because Kawhi and Paul George are getting old. Clippers do have some young guys, but um, it's still like a little bit like a long time. We're gonna actually have our own official first round picks till like 2027, I believe. So the Clippers, in my opinion, stockpiling on future first round picks is kind of like somewhat of a to do list in my opinion, and then like also like try to like limit trading future first round pick, especially the unprotected first round picks, and don't do any more pick swaps either because man, the Eric Gordon trade, I hate that trade with a passion, and yeah, but I'm getting a little off topic right now, but definitely like put a moratorium of trading first round picks unless if it's like a protected first round picks, or unless if you're getting like a young superstar or a young like role player that's about to break out, then I guess I'll be fine with trading a first round pick. But anything else, like evens for James Harden, um, you definitely got to add a protection, and I would not trade even more than one. Um, and as for Malcolm Brogdon, you got to put a heavy protection. So that's just my personal opinion, and like I said, it's kind of like Harden. I would welcome the Malcolm Brogdon trade if we get him like at a really low asset. I mean, with like like a cheap, like a respectable, like a team friendly price. But if the Clippers do trade like actual good assets, like any young players or a lightly protected first round pick or a pick swap or even worse, an unprotected first round pick, like I might have another rage video, just like what happened to me back in June 22. Um, but let me know what y'all think about these two news. Um, you think the Clippers are gonna eventually get James Harden, maybe within months? Um, the the fun part is with James Harden is he actually outright called his general manager a quote unquote liar. So I still think James Harden to the Clippers is still very possible, and I still think the Clippers have leverage over the Sixers because Harden's on a 1 year contract, and if Harden really wants to leave, he gonna find a way to leave. It's just up to the Clippers to play the cards right, in my opinion. And then the Malcolm Brogdon trade, kind of like a similar assessment of um, what I have for James Harden. Like he's a solid 6 man player. If we get him for low, I definitely would welcome it. Who knows? Maybe kind of like bank on him to do good, and then boost his trade value up, and then maybe find a team. You can flip him for some extra draft capital or some extra assets that could help the Clippers in their actual needs, which is like the power forward, the athletic power forward positions or center positions or whatever the Clippers would need. So that's just my opinion, and and if the Clippers don't do either of these two, like I said, I won't be mad because, in my opinion, what the Clippers should actually do is, like kind of like stick what they have and stop playing liabilities. Gotta get the Robert Covington minutes, get some young kids playing, and I think the Clippers would just roll. The Clippers would sail like a sailboat if Ty Lue just get his brain functioning. And yes, I like to roast Ty Lue a lot because that boy put me in pain for the whole year with his rotations. And also, I am planning to um, make like a off-season grades of like grading each moves, and I'm also going to include the trade deadlines because eh, it's more like a 2023 Clippers trade moves, and it's going to be kind of like a combination of a rant and a compliment. So stay tuned for that. Maybe like within like sometime this week or maybe next week. Um, but anyways, take care. Have a good night and peace.